Okay, plot 52 in the greenhouse. As you can see, everything is growing pretty good. That's all my French beans, the French climbing beans. They're going to go down to the allotment into the cold frame in a couple of days. We're going to have a cold night tonight, so I think after that we're pretty clear. We've got a few extra runner beans in there just coming through. These are the tomato plants that we potted on before, so now they are 18 inches. They've come into flower, so they now need to go to their final places. Our local garden centre's open, so we're going to get all those done. Planted some tomatoes there, just coming along, so you know, now you go outdoors. The broccoli's looking good. We've got the runner beans, they've all sort of come up really nice now. So we've got runner beans there, we've got runner beans there. Down here we've got a few courgette plants which we've managed to get from the garden centre. The cauliflower's coming on, and so is the beetroot. And we've got some leeks coming on there. Down the bottom we've got our lettuce. We can separate those into different pots. I have a different arrangement now, they're coming up, and we're going to put those Swedes into separate pots. A few more, no, actually they're spring onions up there, sorry, they were spring onions. They're going to go down to my carrot patch. And here we got the leeks. I'll just sort of thin those out a bit. So, you know, you only need to grow about a couple of dozen leeks, and the sweet peas, they're going to be planted down by the runner beans. And I grew some fuchsias, not fuchsias, lupins, sorry, getting all my names wrong. So they're going to be sort of separated. We'll sort of get rid of some of the weaker ones and keep the stronger ones. You can see which ones are the stronger ones. So yeah, we're good to go. So we're going to transform the greenhouse into the summer position. The spring position's nearly finished because of the potting up. Potting up table will go, and all this will sort of change, and we'll have a good clear out. Debating about whether to put the shading netting up, because that got up to 47 degrees in here. It's 33 now, so it's still pretty warm. So yeah, I think we're ready for the shading. We're going to get some sunny hot days like this. There's a little update on my herbs. I've cut some of the herbs back, and you can see we've got sort of new growth there. That's looking good, and new growth there, so we can cut off the stragglers. Okay, we've had a good old sort out. We've got a grow bag on the floor underneath the stage, and that's going to be for the 3 cucumber plants. With these containers, you just loosen up the compost in the grow bag, cut out a circle. You just sort of got a sort of serrated edge underneath, and then you got the drain holes. You just make sure you pop those, loosen up all the compost inside the bag, and away you go. And this is for the tomatoes. Now these are the 3 that we just haven't sort of done yet. Just sort of show you what to do. So you've got your grow bag. Now before you put the grow bag down, just sort of stand it on its end, shake it all around, give it a good sort of shake both ends, and then lie it down and then get it back, because that just sort of stops it from being all compacted. So we've got a 50p off coupon. I've got 3 of those now. You go through that. I mean, I have got some from last year, but it's not that expensive. So to be honest, if it's been in the greenhouse all year, it's probably not as strong as it should be. So right, we've got an assortment of tomatoes, so we can decide which ones are going to go in where. Some of them grow a bit taller than others, so we'll make that decision on the actual height that they grow. So we're just going to crack on with that. A bit more space in here now. We've got the little potting unit off, but all good. And if you look up, you might see that I decided to did put the shading up. Bit of a tricky thing to do, but then you need to do it once and then it's up. It still was getting warm in here, and easier to do it once you've cleared everything out rather than trying to do it once you started growing tomatoes and stuff. So it's all ready to go. Okay, so we've just marked out the 3 areas, and then you sort of cut that with the scissors. You can see that's still quite compacted, so you cut out all 3 and then we'll give it a good old shake. Okay, so we've got those 3 cut. So you just want to put the fork in, just sort of gently push it out without sort of spiking the actual bag. I don't spike the bag straight away, I sort of let it sort of get a bit damper. You don't want to over waterlog a tomato, but you don't want it to let it dry out either. So just sort of gently push the fork in and free up the dirt, and give it a little knead with your hand, it won't hurt. Don't want to make a mess, but you just sort of done it. Add a little bit of water, just sort of break up that compost and let the roots sort of come in, and then we put the just give it a little shake down. Now if you look underneath these, you've got the holes where the water sort of soaks in, so you just sort of give it a good shake round. You've got to make sure that it's sort of right down to the bottom, and then the actual bag is just above it, so that the water doesn't overflow out the bag. Just a reminder, you want to sort of probably cut on a little bit near the front of the bag, but never mind. So pull that up, and then push that down, and then you top that up with the compost, which I've done on those ones. Water the compost in, and then it's ready for planting. Okay, all topped up. I've added a bit of water into the middle just to sort of let it drain down, and then you put the water around the bottom, and it soon drains down into the bag, and that will make it nice prepared for growing. Got the tomato in there now, so you just want to push it sort of down, spread the compost to the edges, and then you fill that up. Now you want to sort of fill it up to there. You want to, it's a good idea to give it, the more plant it deeper, the more support it gets, so you want to sort of level up the compost to the top. Okay, that's a good job done. We've got the 4 tomatoes all in their containers. I really do like these sort of system for growing your tomatoes. The canes are well supported. You know, when it starts to grow a bit bigger, I take out the smaller cane here, and the actual tomato is well supported in the middle of those 4. It might need a few little tying back, but it shouldn't. We've got other tomatoes going up here. We've got a marmalade. Now that is a beefsteak tomato, and then we've got the Hertz Fleur. That's what I'm going to call it. That's quite a large tomato. The Alicante, we've got 2 Alicante sort of planted in, and 2 cherry. Now I'm not sure what variety the cherry are, so we'll just have to wait and see. The middle 2 should be Alicante, but I've got a feeling something went slightly astray there, so at least we can tell the difference because of the smaller ones. So we got our lupins, just sort of moved them around, just thinned them out a little bit. They're all pretty good. We've got sprouts in that one, and then we've got broccoli there. We've got a few cauliflower, they're struggling, but we're getting there. I've separated the lettuces, and they look a bit sad like that, but there's a bit of root on them, so hopefully they will sort of take. Over this side, I separated the leeks sort of in the end. They were sort of getting all too close together. I don't know, and that's what we've got left of the lettuce. There's just left those in there. Drying off a few beans which I managed to get soaked with water. They may just have to go, those two. We've got plenty of those. And underneath there, earlier we showed you, we got the cucumber pots, but I haven't actually put the cucumbers in there yet. Cucumber plants are over there, that's right. There's those from the garden centre. Now, managed to knock one of the stems and broke, so whether that one will come back, I'll leave it in the pot. We may just have to go and replace that, but you do get a high yield on that, so that's fine. But I don't do it to save money, I just do it because I enjoy doing it. So yeah, it's all tidy. Bit more space in here. I sort of moved the potting outside in the area there. It's not ideal, but I could put it in the big shed, but that's full of bikes and tortoises and other sort of things. So plot 52 is becoming my greenhouse YouTube, but you can't really have an allotment without a greenhouse. I just discovered. Before I used to sort of grow seeds, I was buying everything down the garden centre, and to be honest it costs more money than it does going to Tesco's. So basically, yeah, I do like putting the seeds in and watching them grow. So yeah, we're all done for another day. And just over the fence we've got, that's where my allotment is, and in the background you can see Butlins. So we're very close to Butlins. So there we go.